Shabbos Parshas Shelach. When you think of Parshas Shelach, you think of Makoshesh Eitzim. Right? There's a Yid who's cutting wood on Shabbos, and there's a big public display of his execution. The whole Moshe Rabbeinu asking Hashem, what do we do with him? The Maharal Diskin brings down the Machloikas. What was the Isser L'Maisa? It's unclear in the Psukim what he did wrong by cutting this wood on Shabbos. So, he hones in on one note that the Torah points out. It says that he cut wood in the midbar. The Klal Yisrael was at the midbar, and there was a Makoshesh Eitzim. And that's a very funny thing to tell us, smack dab in the middle of Parshas and Parshas of midbar. We were in the midbar since Har Sinai, and we're going to be there till Yeshua, till we get into Eretz Yisrael. Now, suddenly, by the Makoshesh Eitzim, we're like, by the way, the terrain was sandy. Like, yeah, we're in the midbar. Until I tell you otherwise, we're in the midbar. Why are we pointing out the midbar here? So the Maharal Diskin says it depends on what the Isser he was over. Let's plug it in. There is one shita that says that he was over carrying Dalan Amos and Rosh Hashanah. Good. Now, the fact that it's a midbar is a sugya, and whether it's called is a midbar considered a Rosh Hashanah? It's not so pashut. So Elamai, we have the Gemara that tells us that since Klal Yisrael was in the midbar, Hashem Dafka tells us we were in the midbar. The 600,000 strong that were walking in the midbar, a couple million total, that's what made the midbar into Rosh Hashanah. Mamela, he's chayiv for cutting and carrying Dalar Ames in Rosh Hashanah on Shabbos. But if Klal Yisrael hadn't been in the midbar, it'd be a midbar. It wouldn't be an Issa D'Oraisa. It'd be Carmelis, something like that. But that's only if you hold that the Isser that he did was a Chilul Shabbos of Ritzah, of carrying. But what if the issue was Koitzer, chopping? What if the issue, Parshas is the same word, was Ma'amer, gathering, also the Shitas, both, right? So we have 3 different of the 39 malachas that he could have been over. What does being in the midbar have to do with chopping? What does being in the midbar have to do with Ma'amer gathering? Comes along Rabbi Shulei Diskin and he tells us something beautiful. He says, we are in the world that this guy find wood to chop. There ain't no midbar for Pete's sake. There are no trees. There's a cactus. I don't know, where do you find it? I don't know, are there cactuses over here by Egypt? Where did he get wood? What was he chopping? Elamai, it was a nace. Chazal tells us that under cover to calm, they would vegetate the land. Sand shmand for growing trees. We don't play by the rules in Klal Yisrael. Never have, never will. No. So this guy was doing koitzer on a tree that came derech nes. He was doing ma'amer on wood that came derech nes. The chiddush is that even though we're in a midbar, and even though this wasn't just tree, it was miracle tree, there was still a chiyuv misa, issa d'oraisa of ma'amer and koitzer on these magical midbar trees. Interesting. It struck me as I'm learning this. Maybe you have to understand this guy is cutting down a miracle tree. I get you need some firewood, sure. On Shabbos. The Rebbe gave you this tree in a desert, and you're going to be Mechal Shabbos with it. It's a pella. It's a pella. That's what humans are. We get used to things. You're trying to tell me that the trees behind me are less miraculous because they're growing in a forest instead of in a desert? Says who? Same way we get used to these trees. Get used to these rocks. What is this? Where does this come from? It's a pellet, but we get used to these things. It's a job not to get used to these things, to appreciate everything, to stay focused that everything is a matonim and hashmayim, every breath, every guitar string, every leaf. Rav Oba says not to grab leaves off of trees, but if it smells good, grab leaves off of trees, make a bracha, and appreciate the world that Hashem gives you. If you keep that identification that this is from Hashem, this is a miracle that Hashem gave for me, then we'll use it the right way. Every breath will be kol neshama tehalal kol. Every neshima will be a call of gratitude to Hashem. It's a story about a gadol we had. Rav Moshe Feinstein. He got a phone call once. He gave a psak, and he gets a call right after this psak, and the voice on the line says, "Hi, it's Rabbi so-and-so, big Rosh Hashiva. I want to tell you, your psak is kineged beferish Gemara." And hangs up. It's quite chutzpah. Rav Moshe was familiar with Gemara, to say the least, and couldn't figure out which Gemara. Tried to call him back, couldn't get through to him. Which is dumb. It's like chutzpah. A short while later, that Rosh Hashiva from the phone came to ask Rav Moshe for a haskama. He wrote this beautiful sefer, and Rav Moshe writes not just a haskama, but like a beautiful, flowing, wonderful, beautiful, like just praising him and tzlacha. After he gives him the haskama, he says, "By the way, which Gemara was it? What did I miss? I was racking my brain. I couldn't think of which Gemara I missed." Rosh Hashiva says, "What Gemara?" He says, "Remember, I paskin in the Shelach, and you called me, you said that." "I never heard the Shelach. I didn't call you." Some not telemarketer, some prankster who was angry, didn't like the psak, called up. Yeah, he used this other Rosh Hashiva's name to scream at Rav Moshe Feinstein. The pella is that Rav Moshe didn't bat an eyelash to give this chutzpanyak a haskama. It's a good thing he didn't, because he had nothing to do with it. But can you imagine, like how much? Yeah, you have to be able to just see past all of the ugliness, and there's a yid here, and he needs a haskama. That's it. We should be zeicha. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Shabbos.